Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to our midnight soiree, and it's good to have you share this table with us, where we bring the whole family of God, every child of God, and we hold them in our heart, inviting Gaia, our beloved Mother Earth, and all the great spiritual teachers to guide and shepherd us and fill each one of us with the love of the Supreme. But first, if you have a candle nearby, would you like to light your candle for peace in the world, especially in Syria and Egypt and in Afghanistan? And we begin with a beautiful prayer. It's the prayer for peace, for the Abrahamic faith, for Muslims, Jews and Christians to come together in love. O God, you are the source of life and peace. Praise be your name forever. We know it is you who turn our minds to thoughts of peace. Hear our prayer in this time of crisis. Your power changes hearts. Muslims, Christians, and Jews remember and profoundly affirm that they are followers of the one God. Children of Abraham, brothers and sisters, enemies begin to speak to one another. Those who were estranged join hands in friendship. Nations seek the way of peace together. Strengthen our resolve to give witness to these truths by the way we live. Give to us understanding that puts an end to strife, mercy to quench hatred, and forgiveness that overcomes vengeance. Empower all people of all faiths and none to live in your law of love. Amen. Fill us with your love. Bless all here. Bless all here. Praise your name.
Is the word that I heard deep within me. Namayao is the shape of the sound that is surrounding me. Namayao is the place where my heart
Let us be still, my dear friends, and let there be no fear in our heart, for we were called by name, called to be an ambassador of peace. You are an ambassador of peace. And as ambassadors of peace, we surrender our hearts to the Supreme, to a loving Father, Mother God, who's known by many names: Yahweh, Allah, Jehovah, Creator God, the Source, the Supreme. Let us be still now. Let us come back to our God Center, our Divine Center. And in the silence, we allow the Spirit of God, the Spirit of the Goddess, touch us, touch us. Let us now focus on our feet. Where are they placed? Place them firmly on the ground, preferably barefoot, to receive the healing love from our earthly mother Gaia, who calls us to peace. Be still and allow the voice of the Beloved speak to your heart, your sacred heart. You are a child of God. Embrace all that you are as a beloved of God, for there is no other who loves you with a selfless love and accepts you as you are, who embraces you as a child of love. Be still now and become aware in the silence and stillness a presence. It's a warm presence with waves of tranquility breezing over your mind, through your mind, around your mind, bringing all anxiety, tension and stress down into your heart center, your divine center of love. Relax now. And let us take a nice, deep, non-labored in-breath. Hold it. And now release any tension or worry, fear or sadness into the arms of beloved Gaia, our Earth Mother, for she cares for us. She provides for us. Be aware. Just be aware that she is here with you. She's calling you as a child of God, an ambassador of peace, to surrender your heart to your God Goddess. So let us surrender our heart to the divine. Let us surrender all that we are and And remember, it is in our brokenness that we become whole again. Brokenness of mind, body and spirit is the key which the cosmic Christ uses to unlock the mystery within our heart, within the temple of love, the temple of God. Embrace that temple. Embrace and experience a reawakening of all that you are as a child of love. A child that was called by name to break bread with all here, for we come from different faiths, to embrace one belief that God is love, that God is truth, and that God represents equality, justice, compassion. So let us surrender all that we are to the mystical heart of divine oneness. Be still. Be still. Breathe on me, O breath of God. Fill me with life anew, that I may love what you love and do what you want me to do. O breathe on me, breath of God. O breathe on all here. Breathe on our brothers and sisters, O God, who've joined us in love. Breathe on our mind, our body and spirit, the breath of God, and fill us with life anew, that we may love what you love and do what you ask of us to do. O precious breaths, O sacred breaths, breathe on Abla, on Stephen, on Elizabeth, on Eleanor, on dear Sister Jen, on Miriam, on Harry, on Nathan, on dear Sue, on Mary and her daughter Martina, on the souls of Moshe and Abla's mom, on all our loved ones, breathe on us, O breath of God. Breathe through us your breath of peace. O Holy One, O Anointed One, touch all here and fill us with the gifts that you have for us, the gifts of love, the gifts of peace, the gifts of a sensitive heart to the needs of the marginalized, the world's poor. Breathe on us, O sacred breath of Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Creator, Father, Mother, God. We praise you. We praise you. Last evening, we focused on a theme about what do you see, where we guided you through a short meditation of opening a sacred door. Now I'm guided to share with you to come from your heart, your sacred heart, your divine self, and open the door to a new beginning, to a new dawn, but be mindful of adversaries. Adversaries, what are they? Adversaries for me can mean my ego, my grandiose ideas, my fear, my depression, my back pain, where I allow them take control of the divine presence in my life, where I allow the forces that oppose the divine love of God and the Goddess from allowing me mature and evolve into a beautiful child of love. But what are your adversaries? What prevents you from stepping through that door into the new dawn, a new day of your life, where there are new beginnings and abundance that the mind cannot comprehend? What are your adversaries? We all have them. But I believe that God the Supreme, Father, Mother, God, has given to each one of us a precious gift. It's known by many names. Many words have been used down through the centuries by Jews, Muslims, Christians, Baha'i, Buddhists, Hindus and Sikhs. It is the gift of friendship. It's an invitation to embrace the divine already in you. And many hear the call. Many listen to that inner voice. Many warm to that voice. But not many wish to stay with the voice because they're afraid. Afraid of leaving their comfort zone. afraid of compromising who they are. Maybe they're a successful poet. Maybe they're a high flyer. But we each have an Achilles heel. I know mine. And at times it lands me on my face, where I have to eat humble pie and say sorry. I really messed up. Being clever, trying to be clever, a procrastinator, one who hears the voice but manipulates it to suit their own agenda. But what's so common today amongst many beautiful children of God is that they have this inner low self-esteem that's been compromised. Their self-worth has been destroyed. They're afraid. They're afraid to take back their power from their abusers. They're afraid of being rejected and seen as second class. I was one of them. And at the time I was a nursing monk in the Catholic Church. Yes, I was. And I lived in fear of God. I lived in fear of this religious God who dealt out hellfire and damnation. And I remember when I was 17 years old, sneaking out of the dormitory where there were 5 other monks snoring their head off. And I crept up the back stairs, tiptoed along many corridors and came to the chapel. And I sat there for an hour crying my heart out. I was so alone, so miserable in God's service, begging God to put his arms around me and love me. And that was the impact of religion that had gone sour. A belief that was more focused on obeying the rule, on being someone you were not, and living in another person's dream. But today, as a monastic in the Teo community, I've never been as free, because we don't buy into religion. We embrace Celtic Franciscan interfaith spirituality. We embrace a loving God-Goddess in nature. We don't need to run to the mosque, the shul or the cathedral, because God is here in the heart. But often our adversaries blinker us and deny us from beholding, from enfolding the divine. So I would say to you, the spiritual journey as a pilgrim is a beautiful journey. But one has to face reality. One has to face one's fear. Name it. Bless it. Release it. Not to another human being, but to the divine. To whoever your God is, you release it. And then you step back and you say, thank you for releasing me from this great fear. And you go on praising and thanking the divine for breaking the chains that have kept you in bondage. I do. Oh yes. Oh yes. And God gives to us a gift called faith, love, truth, honesty, integrity, justice, equality. And it's all wrapped up into one beautiful word called mystery. Mystery. The moment you let go of the worrying about you and your life and surrender your heart in trust, you receive the mystery, the gift of mysteries, and they unfold each day, and they bring you a blessing, an inner knowing, an inner acceptance that you are loved. But your head will tell you you're not loved. Your head will deny you love. But if you come to your heart, you embrace the breath of God. You become the breath of God. You become the breath of God. And all that the divine asks of you and me is to come and receive the mystery of total acceptance that you are loved, whether you're disabled, whether you're gay or straight, alcoholic, drug addict, prostitute, prisoner. Labels don't come into this equation of love, for you are loved as a unique, valued, respected being of love, created in the image and the likeness of divine love. But the moment you take your first step on the spiritual journey as a pilgrim in search of nirvana or truth, you attract other forces. Oh yes. But that's a good sign, because it means you're on track. I believe that. But what have we to lose by surrendering our heart to love? We live in a world that is so beautiful, and yet its children have become spiritually impoverished through fear. Religion, as good as it is for some, it has alienated so many of us from a loving God in religious wars. And the children of Abraham have suffered the most by killing one another through fear, power. That is not God. That is man's ego. Today, you and I have a choice. Who do we love? Our ego or our heart? If we say we love our heart, then we are embracing the divine, because we are a temple of love. We are a temple of peace. Let us relax now. Let us embrace that peace. And let us use our affirmations. And one that touches my heart when I'm weak and vulnerable is, I am a child of God. I am loved. I am accepted for who I am